Some guests come to Rythmia that have been diagnosed with a so-called personality disorder. And a very common personality disorder that we see at Rythmia that does very well is histrionic personality disorder and borderline personality disorder. Now, in the Western psychiatric model, those disorders are considered incurable. It's just who you are. There's no changing it. We don't believe that at Rythmia. We believe that anything that is hindering your happiness or holding you back from success, you can fix. We believe that very strongly. And so what is a personality disorder? Well, those two in particular, and there's 10 total personality disorders. Those two that I mentioned specifically have something in common. They cannot hold inside of their own self any extreme emotion. They have to find a target to project it onto. Extremely happy, extremely sad, extremely angry, extremely whatever. They can't hold it or contain it. So they have to give it to somebody. And that is a very bad way to have any meaningful relationship because you abuse and burn out the people around you. And the people around you don't understand what's really happening. But what you're doing if you have these disorders is you're projecting constantly. And you're not sitting with your true self. And it's called being egosyntonic. Now, egosyntonic means the whole world, I view the whole world in one way, and that's how everybody else sees it too. So my ego position is the reality of the world. In other words, the world revolves around me. But we all know that that's not true. That's what a child thinks. But as a high-functioning adult, we don't think that way. We understand there's different perspectives. So the plant medicine allows you, that we serve at Rythmia, which is ayahuasca, allows you to move from an egodystonic or an egosyntonic position into an egodystonic position, which means you can evaluate yourself. You become your own therapist. You can step back from your own behaviors, your own pathology, all the things that are hindering you. You can step back, you can see it, and you can understand why you're doing it. You become your own therapist. Now, if you're a borderline personality disordered person and you're working with a therapist back home, that therapist is becoming your dad and your mom and your brothers and your cousins and your wife. And that therapist and you are having a very chaotic relationship. And the Board of Psychology recommends that any therapist not have more than 2 borderline persons in their practice at a time. So it's a very dim, dismal outlook for people in therapy that have these disorders, so-called disorders, I call them. At Rythmia, we can help those people very much. And the way we do it is by helping them help themselves. That's the only way to do this. And that's not just for people with that diagnosis. The strength of the Rythmia program is because you do your own work. You become your own therapist. The staff, get out of the way. We provide safety and we point you in the right direction, but we do not do the work for you. We give you the tools to do the work, and the people with histrionic in particular and borderline, which is in the cluster B category of the old DSM, I learned the old way. I'm an old guy. And that's what's happening at Rythmia is that those 2 personality disorders are actually healing themselves through their own egodystonic perspectives. And so, we've had borderline experts come here, psychologists that are borderline experts, and they can't believe the results that we're having. And they've sent most of their patients to come and get this healing. And our follow-ups and our survey results show that this sticks. This isn't a temporary fix. This is something that actually continues on in their life. And for all of the guests that come to Rythmia, you have to be able to now use the tools that you're learning through the Rythmia Way program.